You're trying to balance risk mitigation as well as optimal yield is controlling our input costs and just not throwing money away in the field.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the State of Soy. I'm Aaron Putsey. We're here in southwest Iowa. We're near Lewis, and I'm visiting with Joe McClure. Joe serves as the Director of Research for the Iowa Soybean Association's Research Center for Farming Innovation. Joe, this is always a busy time for you and your team because you're not only sharing with farmers about the work that you've done in 2023, but you're also already gearing up for another growing season. Let's start with 2023 first. Give me a highlight or two of some research work that you've done that you're also bringing to growers this spring.
There's a couple main projects that we put a lot of effort into for 23 that will be coming forward in 24 as well. And one of those is our seeding rate trial. What we want to do is do those in an unbiased way on every individual farm we can. So that's a big one, and that's really looking at saving costs. We're not always looking at driving yield up. There's the other end of things, especially as the ag market is tightening, is controlling our input costs and just not throwing money away in the field. We want to make sure that we get more environments, but 110, 115,000 seeds per acre is winning most of the time. It doesn't mean you won't get half a bushel more with 140,000 or 170,000 seeds per acre, but that half a bushel does not equate to what that seed costs to get there. If you go down to 80, the yields aren't that much different, but you do incur more risk if you have a crust situation. You need a certain number of plants to push that crust up, especially in 15-inch soybeans. You're trying to balance risk mitigation as well as optimal yield and trying to find that sweet spot with that input cost. We hope to learn more next year, and maybe it'll be the same, maybe it won't be, but we'll be able to define that by environments more next year.
And that's what's really valuable about farmers plugging into you and your team, Joe, is that we're not out there selling products. We're out there really, again, using and utilizing the investment that farmers make in the soybean checkoff and looking at issues really from their vantage point. You've also been really looking at some biologicals. You've also been doing some work in the cover crop area. Briefly explain those two areas of research as well.
Biologicals we've done for 4, 5, 6 years now in a row, and really what we're looking at is it's a new space for farmers. It's a new point where somebody thinks it's going to gain you yield if only you invest in their operation. And what we're finding is there are occasions where these things do enhance your yield, but across 4 years and across 25 locations or so, we're not finding any inconsistencies. So again, it comes down to, is that variability worth investing in when it's got about an 80% or plus non-success rate? And so would you rather have that money spent elsewhere on your farm?
And quickly on cover crops.
Same thing, we know that cover crops have a challenge to corn yields. Corn falling rye is a challenge, and we're not debating that. What we're trying to do is try to find the right methods for farmers to overcome that so they can reach their other goals, which might be erosion control, it might be soil health components, it might be field access, even as growers push for more biomass or later termination timings, it might be weed control. We want to be able to achieve those goals without sacrificing yield at the end of the year. And it's how do we maintain our yields while growing a more sustainable crop and cutting inputs elsewhere.
So as we look at the 2024 growing season, Joe, I know your team, super accessible, great to work with, want to get as many farmers engaged as possible. How can farmers reach out to you?
The best way is hitting our website, iasoybeans.com. Call the front desk. Our folks will get somebody online that can help you. We have research agronomists across the state, as well as our conservation agronomists across the state. We can find the right person or help you ourselves.
So again, you saw the ways to engage. They scrolled across the screen there, and make 2024 the year you engage and get involved in the research work. We're driven to deliver for you, the soybean farmer. Reporting for this edition of the State of Soy, I'm Aaron Putsey.
Everything starts with the land. We really respect farmers.
There's nothing that we cannot help a client with. The brokerage, the management, the appraisal, and the investment are 4 pillars that really go so well together.
We work with a lot of really great people working incredibly hard to provide for their families, their community, and the country.